Ladies, germs, everybody in between, welcome back to my channel. My name is Seema. I am an artist as well as an intuitive, and I'm in full Wicked uniform today. Happy Wicked. I've kind of been teasing them for a few months, and it just released, teasing it, sorry, and it just released 2 days ago, and I still haven't seen it, and I'm supposed to see it today, and I don't know if I'm going to see it, but welcome to my channel, okay? I wanted to kind of discuss something that I have been getting a lot of downloads on, and it's just like such an amazing thing that I want to share with you. So basically, when we think of wealth, we think of, and it has to do with wealth and money, so sit down, it's going to be interesting. When we think of wealth, we think of material wealth, and often we think of that in a limited perspective. We think of it in a form of a car or a home or multiple or like a certain amount of money. So we attribute a number to wealth, right? But in actuality, wealth is a feeling. It's the feeling, sorry, she's a little upset today. It's the feeling of abundance. It's a feeling of creativity. It's a feeling of creation. And it's a very high vibrational feeling. And so when you actually understand that everything in life is about focus, you'll see that it's not that hard to rewire your mind when it comes to how you view wealth or money or energy or anything like that. I hope you guys are okay with me calming down the vibe a bit, because the vibe is kind of calm today. So I'm going to slow down a little bit. So wealth is not what we've been lied to, okay? Because true freedom is not thinking that you want anything, or that you need anything, or that wealth is money, or looking at like material items and like wanting those things. Like, that's not freedom. That's enslavement of the soul to the material realm. And you have to understand that you come from the same being that has created all of the realms, right? So if you are going to just see yourself as less than something, wherein you can't have something or somebody, you are disregarding source. You are basically like mocking God in a way. And we mock God all the time. We mock God when we doubt ourselves. We mock God when we see the worst in others. We mock God when we, do things that are potentially harmful to our own minds. We indulge in negative habits that we're stuck to or enslaved by. Then we are mocking God, and we're saying, I'm not grateful for all the things that you've given me. I'm not grateful for your abundant energy, And so when we essentially approach life with that mindset, it's not necessarily scarcity mindset. It's just lack of awakenedness, It's just like a sleeper's mindset, where like you just kind of don't recognize all of the abundance that you're surrounded by. You don't recognize all of who you are. You don't recognize all of the potential within yourself or another. And you're just like doing, yourself ultimately a huge disservice, the biggest disservice, which is to not see clearly, which is to be asleep. So what does this have to do with you, and what does this have to do with me? It has everything to do with the way that we live on a moment-by-moment basis. So if we keep thinking the way that we've been thinking, we're all going to be in trouble. And I know this for a fact, because look at the way the world is running. Look at the way that we're supposed to provide for ourselves. Look at the ways in which we're forced to create a living. It's corrupt and it's wrong, because it takes advantage of human life force energy, and it exploits it. And there's huge exploitation happening, not just of you and I, but of all beings. So what can we do? What can we do about this? Well, the first step is to change our own individual consciousness, to wake up. And the way that we can wake up is by examining our feelings all of the time, how we are feeling all of the time. It's much easier to change your feelings than it is to change thought patterns, because that happens over time. And so if you look at the cumulative amount of time that it's going to take to change your thought patterns, you're going to be intimidated by that. You're not going to want to change your thought patterns. You're going to think it's too much work, it's unnecessary, I'm fine, and let me go numb myself with whatever else, shopping or coffee or stuff like that. I don't know. um, so basically, it's important to kind of like, I'm sorry, I laughed and something flew in my eye. Like, we're just really living in a fairy tale, you know what I mean? On a different planet, more so. So anyway, so it's important to understand that, like, you're not supposed to look at the long-term kind of progression of how much work it's going to take to change your thought patterns. It's not going to take work. Your job and my job is to focus on how we feel right now and to make that the priority. So every single now that we experience, we're going to be in the habit of paying attention to how we feel. And so then we can take action. Like, once we're aware of how we're feeling, then we can take action to raise that feeling, to change that feeling, right? To take the vibration from like a frequency of, I'm sorry, literally there is like a whole human being in my eye. I can't, like, okay, so the show must go on, you know. The vibrational frequency, the higher it is, the better we actually are at attracting things that we think about. So our manifestation power grows when we have a heightened vibration. So if your vibration is super low, and if you're vibrating at a low frequency that is more concerned with concerns, and that is more patterned and stuck, like you feel like you are your mind. Once you start feeling like you are your mind, you're in trouble, right? You want to, as much as possible, this is what detachment is, the practice of detachment. This is why having a meditation practice is so important. As much as possible, you want to step away from your mind. You want to observe the mind, right? And observe the thoughts that come up and the feelings that come up all the time. So what you can start doing today, my friend, is to observe how you are feeling all the time and make it a priority to feel good all the time. Your only job is to feel good. Because when you feel good, then, oh my God, everything aligns. Your vibration rises, your personal frequency rises, your manifestation ability increases. Things that you think about and focus on have more of a chance of actually appearing in your life, which is a good thing. And that's why we focus on positive things, right? Only. It's a science. It's obvious. There is this whole, I'm sorry, like, when I first started exploring like the metaphysical world many years ago, there was a whole movement about how it's so important to not be positive because positivity is toxic. Essentially, there was this term called toxic positivity. And so for anybody that was at all positive, there would be people around them saying, you know, that's toxic positivity, or like, that's toxic, you are spiritually bypassing some stuff. But other people do not know, like, what's going on inside of you. So make sure that you're not engaging in toxic positivity, and make sure that you are not spiritually bypassing, and make it a point to feel good. And the way that it looks on the outside has nothing to do with you. You're not in charge of appearances. You're not above your own capability. You're just not in charge of that. You can look the best and be the best vibration, and, you know, be just a wonderful human being, and then still somebody would just not be able to understand that, because you guys are just not on the same frequency. They see gold and they think it's shit, you know what I mean? So, like, it's just kind of important to also be aware of who you share space with, and who you allow others to kind of like share space with you and things like that. But that's a different story. But that goes along with protecting your life force energy, which is how you create more wealth. We didn't even touch on that yet. So like I said, your job is to focus on you feeling good as much as possible. Then, like I said, your vibration rises, your manifestation ability increases. You have the ability to think of things that you want, and they are pulled in, right, from the quantum. And in that way, you understand your power. You understand your power, which is focus. Once you can learn how to focus, you can create magic. That's what magic is, okay? This is like a lesson on magic. Magic 101. Because magic is not unordinary. It's very ordinary, which makes the ordinary magic, right? Which makes the ordinary unordinary. And that's the balance of the universe. Like, write that down if you want to, because it'll help you remember. It'll help you remember that things that we think are common or happenstance or no big deal, or we take things for granted. We're not using our resources. We are not understanding that we are magicians. We are ignoring who we are. And that's a problem, because we are metaphysical beings that have the ability to change our experiences all the time. So yes, your job is to focus on moment by moment of feeling how you feel. This will in turn, my friend, allow for you to develop a sense of self-love, God love, and compassion. Actually, the order is number 1, God love, number 2, self-love, and number 3, compassion. And that is what is going to change the world. So I mentioned how our world is really backwards and things are corrupt, right? How do you change the world? You change yourself, and then your actions are aligned with your higher self or your mission or your purpose in this lifetime. They're very dharmic, your actions are. You burn a lot of karma on the way through performing acts of service in different ways. Ultimately, you're serving God, right? And then you walk the path. It's called the path. So you walk the path. And eventually, if you do it right, it results in liberation. Okay? Liberation is the goal, and it is possible to be liberated even in this body. Of course, we still are identified with our senses. We still have to come into contact with matter. So, we have to constantly be practicing liberation through dhyan, through meditation. It's very important. We detach that way from the mind and the 5 senses and the body and the bodily conception and our identity, which is just and anything we want it to be. When you can create your identity, you can create a whole new life, okay, for yourself. It's that concept of like people not recognizing you years later, or you not recognizing yourself in the future. Like, it is quantum shifting. And so every human being has a possibility to do it, to leap, and to create from the here and now. And so that is what I'm teaching you guys to do. If you would like to write this stuff down, do so. Because me telling you this is just gonna, not really stick with you unless you have it on paper, I feel. Also, the written and the spoken word are ways to create, okay? That's why it's very important to be intentional with your thoughts, because your thoughts creates. It travels, and it turns into vibration, and that vibration deposits itself in lower and lower densities, because it's an entropic. It's the law of entropy. So this vibration of thought has to lower in its frequency until it hits solid dense matter and it becomes matter, or circumstance, or an experience, or emotions elicited by you, right? So no thought is returned void. And the way to manifest or create anything that you want is just through feeling. It's just through feeling your way there. You don't have to affirm, you don't have to visualize, you don't have to just stop with all of that, because feeling is the secret, so you can feel yourself into health, you can feel yourself into wealth, you can feel yourself into an entirely new human life experience. You can feel yourself into a marriage, you can feel yourself out of a marriage. I'm just kidding. I'm joking. Jeez. I'm just kidding. It's a joke that I do with my friends, because a lot of marriages end in divorce, and like, that's not funny, but we joke around about that, because marriage is a sacred commitment to God. Like, the second that like the state got involved, things get messy, like, because it's a union between church and state, but it's supposed to be like a union just with God and your person, so like actually marriage is like, it's important for some people to not get married. Did you know that? Like in their chart, it's important for some people to just really not get married, because when you get married, I don't know why we're going here, but talking about energy, I guess. When you get married, that contract changes something, okay? Which things do change things. Like if you sign a contract for a home, something in your chart has activated that, so it reflects the chart. When you get married, same thing. When you have a child, same thing. If the dasha said so, the dasha said so. You know what I mean? So it's gonna happen. So, but anyway, you know, some people are really not meant to be married because it'll mess up their wealth. What does that mean? It'll mess up their energy. It messes up their energy. Study your chart and consult a Vedic astrologer, not myself, but I can link some down below. Actually, I will do that. But yeah, so, you know, energy is wealth. From energy springs everything. It springs life. It springs cyclical movement of nature. It springs God force. It springs creativity and creation and conception. So, you know, energy is everything, is very important. And feeling is the next step of energy. Energy translates into feeling. That's why you feel your way to places. Okay, so I hope this video was helpful. If it was, be sure to leave me a comment down below saying what your best takeaway from this video was. Subscribe to my channel for more videos just like this. I have a mentorship launching on December 1st. If you are interested, pre-order the package. I'm going to have the link below. I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Peace.